Hi, everybody. How many people don't know Jaspersoft? Wow. Oh, I don't believe you. So, these slides are really the general picture of the new IT world and what that means for business intelligence. Not everybody will have seen slides like these, so they are of interest. But they are encompassing, when I heard the topics that Christian and Alessandra and everybody and Mark are going to talk about, I was listening to Stefano thinking, actually what I'm going to talk about includes all of those, but obviously not in the depth that you will hear in the other presentations. And the reason for that is that Jaspersoft really provides software primarily for BI builders, people who take our software and then build BI solutions. So Mark has built many BI solutions using Jaspersoft and Spago and Pentaho and others. But not Pentaho, that's not okay, excuse me. So the point of it is that a BI builder really needs to work with tools, platforms like Jaspersoft, like Red Hat, like even proprietary traditional tools or newer ones like IBM, Infosphere, Big Insights, items like these. Okay, so the purpose is building BI, and building BI in the context of the new IT world. The new IT world, according to McKinsey, is about a new class of company really emerging. So the use of Web 2.0 technologies and the way that the new IT stack, we'll see another slide in a few slides from now, but the new IT stack has evolved very considerably over the last few years. We know the stories of social networking, big data, federation of data, federation of servers, federation of everything, and so on. But what does it mean for BI builders? That's really the thing that we're most interested in. And it doesn't, the new IT stack doesn't mean the same thing for every kind of software provider. But for BI, it's quite specific. So in the old data center-centric stack, really we had, if you look for compute engines down the bottom, a combination of mainframes, servers, storage, but this is now infrastructure services. Note the change? We take this for granted now, but it has huge implications for people who need to make decisions quickly on how their companies are run. Obviously, we're going from web apps or infrastructure over to mobile. Jaspersoft today, just today, I'm sure tomorrow will be different, is the only company, the only BI provider who supports iPad browsers in BI as well as native iPhone apps. There's no other BI company that does that. Why can we do it before everybody else? Well, because of our open source model. Our innovation together with the likes of Red Hat and together with IBM is possible because we have a huge community of developers who want to run even faster all the time in getting this solution evolved. You can't do that with legacy software in the same way. So this new IT world is emerging, and traditional BI platforms, they just don't fit into this. That's what we're finding. It's not just what we're saying, I promise you. It's true. It's what our customers are telling us all the time. And even, most importantly, also here in France, customers who are using our community tools, the stuff that's for free. We consult with them extensively when it comes to our product roadmap, not just for the community, the free version, but also for the paying version. This guy, Geoffrey Moore, has written extensively about the new IT stack, about the network-centric world we're living in now. And he's talked about the consumerization of applications. And so if we have a look at what new user requirements are, we're talking about the merging of all kinds of expectations today, but every one of them has to have a consumer feel and a consumer quality. This is life of a 17-year-old. So it's lots and lots of things open on a desktop or on a mobile browser. This is where 17-year-olds live now. Many of us live there because we're in the technology business, but not everybody's in the technology business, okay? But this is the new generation. The demographic is shifting so incredibly quickly. I don't know what specifically the demographic shift in France is like, but certainly in Europe, for every one person that leaves the services industry, about 4 are joining. That's how quickly the services industry has been growing over the last several years. And those 4 people that come in have an average age of 23. That's a huge, huge difference and a huge shift and evolution in expectation. Because the need for analytics, self-service BI, is no longer just among senior management, but is now among all kinds of users. That shifting demographic is critical to the development of BI solutions. And so BI builders need even more flexibility and even more quality and ease of use in order to deliver self-service BI in the organization. More importantly, and this is the really hard bit, those platforms need to be easier to establish because the super user, the skills that super user has are actually coming down. It's no longer a clever developer. It's now somebody that just is interested or has a mission. So we're talking about, in the US here, of the 66 million workers who potentially could use BI, just over 2% are actually using it. There's another conflicting slide here that says something about 25%. But the fact is that, I hope everybody will agree, but we're seeing it firsthand, the more mobile and more consumer-like we deliver self-service BI, the more use there is. And that, we're told, will make the company more competitive, more productive, make it faster to react across all levels, not just at the top, but right throughout the organization. So we've got, you know what this is not? This is not us showing you that we have also heard of Facebook and we've heard of Twitter and so on. What it means is that the expectations of people using these applications today reflect the expectations they have of all applications. So they don't want to use LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and then have to switch to an application which is too heavy, too difficult, too expensive, too hard to use, needs training. They don't get approval from their boss. These 4, what we call tenets of the new IT world, ubiquitous access. You can access this anywhere. Elegant presentation. And really, these days, we are so sophisticated in terms of the need for more and more elegant presentation. It's incredible, not just in our cars. I saw some beautiful Ferraris going around the city today, and my God, those Italians really know how to produce cars. But it's in the presentation of our applications. It's essential that they are ever more elegant, appealing, and so on. It's critical. The aesthetics around application presentation is up there with Ferrari. And then the BI builder needs to be able to customize in a very powerful way that is not just delivering really good data very quickly, but in a powerful way that can attract the BI self-service user into exploring where the issues are. Because using BI means continuous use, depending on BI day in, day out, not just trying it once and saying, that report was good, and never going back to it. That's not using. That's introduction. So real use of BI means that that user has to go back in and actively engage as a part of his or her job all the time. That's a big, big step to take from 2% to many tens of percents, 70, 60, 50, who knows. And the promise of BI has been for decades that more people will use it and companies will become more competitive. But the promise has not been delivered on. And so the imperative is getting bigger and bigger. And then also user-centric collaboration. This means exactly what it is. If you think of collaboration that's user-centric in terms of social, media, and networking applications, that's the standard that BI applications have to arrive at. So there's nobody here feeling now that we're there yet, not even Jaspersoft. There's a long way to go. We're just at the beginning. So the new IT world is really also about standards-based flexible architectures. Look at this traditional BI marketing, where on the bottom we'll see the sophistication and knowledge of the user. As you get further into analytics and self-service, the knowledge of the user has to be higher. And if you come back down to traditional reporting, knowledge has to be lower. But look what's happened now in the new BI market. It is that these pervasive BI market forces, these are the ones that require BI to be embedded everywhere, to be integrated, to be part of the normal hourly work that somebody sitting at a desk or out on the road needs to do. They need to be able to access decision-making platforms and reporting and interactive reporting and dashboards and all of these things right throughout the whole process of work. And self-service has come right down to operational reporting. It's no good presenting somebody with a PDF copy of tables and charts and graphs and expecting them to make better decisions in their job. We know that doesn't work anymore. Even the nicest of graphs, hard-coded, non-interactive, they don't actually modify or improve behavior. Somebody can wave the report, but are they making decisions based on it? No. Highly interactive. That's what it needs to be. It looks like I just had a data explosion there. The animation here isn't working too well in PDF. I saw this went from 2.5 megs to 10 megs when I went from PowerPoint to PDF. So this is going to be painful. Just trust me, I'm going to go through these slides because I don't think you need to see PDF slides loading here. The big data explosion is big. I'm sure, is it Christian you're going to talk? Yeah, so we'll get through those. Good. Low-cost, open-source approach. Who is not yet convinced, because I've got a very convincing argument, who is not convinced that using open source, commercial open source, means you will have a cheaper project, a cheaper BI solution than using traditional BI? Anybody a bit cynical? Because I know that it's not free. And even using free software doesn't mean it's free, because there's all kinds of other costs associated with open source. But commercial open source BI, according to not just our customers, but according to the analysts, is a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. Millions cheaper in big projects. Really cheaper. So if we've got BI and a limited budget, actually more can be done with less money. TDWI last year, the quote from there was, "Business intelligence is the new battlefield for software providers." I think we guys know that. It's amazingly intense. But for consumers and for users of BI, that's probably good news. The good news for us is that we all seem to be surviving and doing quite well. So, as a result, business intelligence will be where strategic relationships are won and lost. So on a survey done at TDWI, has your BI group been tasked to do more with less in the past 2 years? And the fact is that 81% at that conference last year said yes. And this is the TDWI, I think generally. This was over the course of the 2 or 3 or 4 TDWI conferences last year.